Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to go over uranium and do our daily technical analysis update. I'm going to start with the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust, bust on down, show you what I have in store here. For the most part, if I were to give the honest opinion here, it doesn't look too good. We're seeing these things pull back. They're below their patterns, and they could pull back a good amount. So we'll see what happens. But right now, looking at the patterns, I mean, the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust is still holding on. But the rest of them, they are getting a lot of pressure and they're selling off. So I'll show you what I mean. Let's dive on in here and I'll give you my financial opinion. I'm not selling any of my shares, but I'm going to let you know what I see. So these are big patterns here. You get the 1, 2, 3 humps. This guy's still in the pattern. It broke down and came back up. But we'll have to see which way this thing breaks. It's right at a decision point. Looking at URNM. Now, URNM, looking at this guy, I mean, we did break this to the downside. And if we were to, extend this thing out a little bit, kind of looking here, and we were to throw a price projection on this thing, I mean, it's not going to be pretty because, I mean, again, guys, this isn't always 100% accurate. You go from here, I mean, we could see a 65. We could come back to the bottom of this trend line, or this trend line here. It's possible to break all the way back down to $65. Doesn't mean it will. But the possibility is there. We did break this to the downside. We got some buying pressure up. We are still holding on to the top of this pattern, and hopefully that's all we get is a move down here. If we start to break on down, we could have a much larger pullback if that were to occur. I'm not saying it will, but the possibility is there. The chart pattern is lining itself up that way. And these guys have broken to the downside. And when you start throwing patterns on this, price projections, which is the size of this entry point, and I were to grab this thing and move it on over here, I mean, it's got a price projection of 14 cents. If this thing were to continue to pull back. Is it going to happen? I don't know. We'll see. But we are in downtrend mode still. Same with Goviax. It's still in downtrend mode. And we have a big, very large opening to this pattern here where we could break down quite a bit and get some good entry points, potentially. Global Atomic, again, we broke into the downside. We have not reversed this. We broke the downtrend line, but we have to reverse and create another uptrend by breaking 330. So that's what we're looking for. Forces Metals. We're still inside of its pattern. It's a big old pattern. Big old pattern here. And we have not broken the downtrend line yet. We're still in the pattern. Deep Yellow. Looking at Deep Yellow, we broke out to the downside here. And again, guys, we can go back up. But if we start to slide down, we could slide down a good ways. It's the size of this opening here is the size that we could drop down, and it could be somewhere in this range here. And just kind of looking at what this thing really looks like. Sky Harbor. We're at support kind of coming through here. And we're trying to hold on. Next Gen Energy, we have this massive pattern here that's squeezing up in this funnel. We spilled out of it to the downside, created this almost like a descending wedge here, but we could come lower if it can't hold. If this can't hold, we have any support? Let me see here. If there's any support coming here. Yeah, there's a little bit of support right there. 1 year. There's your support going across right here. So hopefully this support in here can hold, and we can reverse this and move back up. Here's Ken Alaska. Again, we broke to the downside here. This isn't a huge opening, so it's probably going to be projected somewhere in that range over there. I mean, we could break out and then come back and do, tough to say. That's what the overall big picture looks like. Got some resistance through here. Be nice to break through that. And we could create like a cup and handle pattern maybe. Here's base load, jammed up. There's base load. We're playing with the downside of its pattern here. Zoom on in. Zoom on in. So 1, 2, 3. We're playing around with the bottom edge of this pattern here. Hopefully we can break on up. Fission 3.0. We're still in a downtrend so far. We've got support. We got support all through here. So we'll see if this thing can slow down and move and turn around. But at the moment, we're in a downtrend. Fission 3.0. Looking at this guy, 1, 2. We're going to put in a third little hump here. We'll find out. Kind of at the bottom of this pattern over here. CCJ, Camco, breaking to the downside. Got a little bit of a return move. Is this thing going to break lower? And we'll find out. Again, ascending wedges, they usually break to the downside. Your price projected move is this big old move here. And it could be a big, long move downward. Kazatomprom. Looking at this guy, let me back out here. Oh, geez, that's ugly looking. We've got this ascending wedge type pattern. Going into the 1 year, 6 month, 1, 2, 3, break into the downside, kind of a return move. And are we going to fall down or try to break our way up? Again, I'm looking for a move lower, to be honest, in the short term. Pen MF, breaking out of its pattern to the downside. If we could see further pullback here. We're breaking down to the downside. Here's Boss Energy. Looks like it's starting to lose its steam. It's not breaking up, it's breaking down. So it looks like this could potentially be heading lower if we don't get some buyers stepping in here. Lotus Resources broke its uptrend line. We could even throw kind of a line in here. And we are heading lower. Uroy. Me, Roy? No, Uroy. So Uroy's still heading lower. What we need to do is kind of break above this area, close above it. It does look okay. I mean, we've got kind of almost a big buying pressure, slow leak off of sellers, and maybe we can get some momentum here. But we have broken this pattern to the downside. We could go quite a bit lower. The price projected move, if this continues to go lower, is something on the lines of that. It could be. 286. It could come all the way back down here, potentially. Encore Energy, looking at that. We were leaking to the downside. Buyers stepped in, laid a huge, big up candlestick here, reversal candlestick. Let's see if we can stay in the pattern and reverse this thing. That's what it looks like zoomed in. You. Me, no, you. Looking down, coming back. We're finding support, big buying pressure. Let's see if this thing can hold. Remember, the rest of the sector is kind of lagging at best. But this one broke to the upside. This could be our leader. Maybe it can lead us forward. URG, leaking to the downside, selling off. No uptrend line broken yet. UEC, looking at this guy. We are still in a downtrend. There it is. So we're going to continue to pull back until we find a bottom. LEU, hold it shoulder, head, shoulder. I think we're going to see this thing head lower. It's a bearish engulfing pattern there. We came up, buyers aren't pushing this higher. We got a kind of a strong sell-off. I think we could potentially head lower here. LTBR. There it is, kind of a shoulder, head, shoulder. Projected move down to back to where almost we broke out. Zooming on in. We did break this downtrend line. Maybe we have some hope where we can move on up. ISENF, looking at this guy. Big old selling pressure. November 24th, opened and closed. Leaking across. We'll see what this thing does. This is a pattern that's slightly downward, which usually means it wants to reverse up. Well, we'll see. Appia Energy is fallen. It is getting sold off at the moment. downtrend line. We broke to the downside, and we're selling off for Appia Energy. Looks like we have support. Zoom out a little bit more. Oh, we could come back and test this again, potentially. We'll see what happens. DNN. Breakout to the upside. Zooming on in. We are breaking the pattern to the downside. Zooming on in, zooming on in. And here we are below the pattern. We did a retest, and this could potentially head lower. Price projected is a very long way downward if this thing loses momentum. Let me skip that one. We'll do Forum Energy Metals. Forum Energy Metals. Oh, I didn't draw this one up here. Kind of drawn through here. Get this pattern there. 1, 2, 3. Breaking to the upside, and we are coming back, and maybe we're coming to do almost a retest on this guy. Looking at the candlesticks. Lots of red over here. Maybe I probably wouldn't do anything at the moment. I'd just wait and see what this thing does. And then here's Laramide. Laramide has broken its pattern to the downside. We've got hopefully almost a reversal pattern here. If it's a shoulder, head, shoulder. If we can get some momentum, the price projected move would be up here, almost for a retest or a return move, and then we could potentially head lower. We have broken this to the downside. So short term, I'm seeing a lot of bearish action. Am I going to sell my shares? No, I'm going to ride this commodity bull market higher. But in the short term, we could see some further sell-off. Again, we've broken these patterns to the downside. I got to see buyers step in here. I got to see them lay some fat candlesticks. And we got to start breaking back up above the downside of these patterns. Just because I'm just reporting what I'm seeing in these charts. That's all I'm doing. It's up to you what you guys want to do. I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to hold on to my shares and ride this thing. The market conditions, the inflation, the valuations are all good in uranium, but we could see a short-term pullback in progress for a little while. That's kind of my take on it. If you guys like this analysis, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.